Hello and welcome to a very special NRL Fantasy pre-season video with none other than TK from the Talking League podcast.
G'day, Paulie.
Great for you to come along and give us your insight, wisdom, knowledge in the NRL fantasy realm, particularly when you're looking at this. It's the blank canvas. We're starting the season. A lot of people don't even know where to start. They don't quite know how to get the ball rolling. And even if they do, well, the specialised advice you can give is going to give them a lot of help, shall we say.
Yeah, thanks, Paulie, for the wrap to start, mate, and inviting me on the actual show, mate, and really looking forward to ripping in. And let's hope we can get you guys and girls sitting back and viewing a few tips for round one. Where
do you start? You've got everything, the world's your oyster. How do you break it down?
Great question to start here, Paulie. I think we've got to start with our captain.
Yep.
So realistically, I think we've got those three choices. They're right next to you: Hines, Cleary, or Murray. So let's take through a little bit on the three of them.
Yep.
I think Nico Hines right now has had the best prep. You think that he didn't go to the World Cup. After a Dally M season, he's pretty fired up, especially the way the Sharks bombed out of the semis. You got the other two. You've got Nathan Cleary. He's coming off 3 grand finals and a World Cup. That's a hell of a lot of football. They came back first week of January.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got Cameron Murray, who had a stellar season, took over the captaincy, averaging close to 70 minutes, averaged mid-60s last year,
Yep.
Career year. Concerns though, head knocks, four prelims and a grand final. He's played a lot of football over the last 5 years. I just don't know if he can back that up. So for me, I would probably do Nico Hines, even though that he does have an early bye. So we've got to think about that as well, Paulie. The fact that Hines and Cleary actually have an early bye, but the thing I like about having either Hines or Cleary here, Paulie, is the fact they're on the field for 80 minutes.
Yep.
And they're the main men in
Yep.
the actual team.
Yep.
So I just wouldn't like to see my captain spending that much money, even if it's just 10 minutes, just sitting on the sideline.
So you've got your captain, still plenty of room to move here. What next?
I think we've got to have a look at the hookers.
Let's go to
And this is going to be really interesting here, Paulie, this year. Because of the 27-round season, how much coaches start managing their players.
Yes.
So Damien Cook's another year older, right?
Yeah.
Harry Grant's coming into the peak of his powers, but he is coming off World Cup. Reece Robson was absolutely brilliant last year, but can he back it up again? I think the first person we've got to lock in, it's just got to be Brandon Cheese-Smith because of the ownership. His ownership's nearly towards 50%. He's got a dual position there, and I just think that by locking in him first, we can then start filling in the blanks for the rest of the team. I think the position we've got to look at next there, Paul, is the edge position. Because what I'm finding at the moment, because of a lot of new signings, we've got the likes of Katoa and Lioro.
Yes.
They're front row and runners at the moment at the Storm. So I think they're two guys that we should definitely have a look at there.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that we've also got to consider very, very early is all these buys, especially in the first 6 rounds where we've only got 2 trades.
Yeah.
So for me, you probably want to have maybe only 1 to 2 players max from those teams because we've got a 21-man squad.
So you've saved a lot of money. Where do you spend it?
I think the mids. For me, Joseph Tarpany's form at the end of last year was scintillating.
Yeah.
And I think he's got a lot of tools, Paul, that a lot of other guys don't have. And then with Adam Elliott moving on, Papa being a little bit older, I think he might even get a few extra minutes.
Does he play in that 13 role, do you think? Or does he still play 10 but with a bit of added responsibility?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And what I'm also prioritising this year, Paulie, is gun New Zealanders.
Yes. No origin duties.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we save trades.
There.
And Katoa as well.
And yeah, that's good. All right, let's have a look. Should we go to the wing fullbacks now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's the first one that you are thinking of?
I think there's 2 that we probably have to have serious consideration for here, Paul. And the first one, Xavier Savage. When Jamal Fogarty came back into that team, his average went much higher as well.
Yeah.
I just having
kicking game.
Yeah, I just think that having that number
connection.
7 there,
Yeah.
stable spine, just takes a lot of pressure off a rookie fullback.
Yeah, a lot of people are very much liking Xavier Savage. I might have been listening to your podcast during the off-season because I'm getting a lot of Xavier Savage talk from around the traps, so I like it. We will be back with TK from the Talking League podcast to continue our series on picking your fantasy team for 2023. You can find all the fantasy news you need at nrl.com.